The lie you've been living. What if I told you the life you're living right now isn't really yours? What if everything you believe about yourself, what you're capable of, what you deserve, what's realistic, was programmed into you by people who never wanted you to realize your true power? This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's the silent truth of modern life. They trained you to forget who you really are. And the longer you stay asleep, the easier it is for them to keep you in your place. But today, I'm here to wake you up. Before we go deeper, ask yourself, am I really living the life I was born for? Or am I just surviving someone else's design? If you're already feeling something stir inside you, good. That means you're ready. Now take a moment to like this video and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover might just change the way you see your entire life. Let's begin. From the moment you were born, you were full of infinite potential. You didn't know fear. You didn't know shame. You didn't worry about what others thought of you. You cried when you needed to cry. You laughed when you felt joy. You danced without music. You believed everything was possible. But then the training began. Sit still. Be quiet. Don't speak unless spoken to. Act normal. Stop dreaming. They didn't mean harm, but they didn't understand what they were doing either. Most people are just passing down their own programming, built from fear, from limitation, from generations of survival mode. The system doesn't want you to be extraordinary. It wants you to be manageable. So they gave you a script to follow. Go to school, get good grades, don't ask too many questions, pick a safe career, stay in your lane, don't stand out, be grateful for what you have, even if it's not what you want. And slowly, piece by piece, you started forgetting. Forgetting your boldness, forgetting your vision, forgetting your power. And they replaced it with fear, with doubt, with rules. Play it safe. Don't get your hopes up. People like you don't do things like that. But let me ask you something. Who says? Who decided what's possible for you? Who gave them the authority to tell you what you're worth? Because deep down, there's still a part of you that remembers. That part of you that gets restless at night thinking there's something more. That voice that whispers, this can't be it. That fire that refuses to die, no matter how many times life tries to put it out. That's not delusion. That's not selfishness. That is your calling trying to get your attention. And it's time you listened. Look around you. How many people do you know are truly alive? Not just breathing, not just functioning, but alive. Most are sleepwalking through life, following a path they didn't choose, numbed by routine, distracted by screens, addicted to approval, trapped in quiet desperation. But you're different. You're watching this for a reason. You're here because something in you refuses to accept the lie any longer. And I'm here to tell you, you're not broken. You're not lost. You're not crazy for wanting more. You were born for more. But you've been trained to forget, trained to shrink, to settle, to accept crumbs and call it a feast. They gave you limits. You accepted them as truth. They gave you roles. You played them to survive. But survival is not your purpose. You are made to create, to lead, to shake the ground you walk on. And it all starts with one decision, to remember who you are. Let me be clear, this is not about ego. It's not about fantasy. It's not about manifesting a Lambo by closing your eyes and repeating mantras. This is about doing the hard inner work of waking up, of questioning everything, of tearing down the walls they built around your potential. It's about becoming dangerous again. Dangerous to the system that wants you obedient. Dangerous to the fear that kept you small. Dangerous to the version of you that settled for less than what your soul was screaming for. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Change always is. But the pain of staying asleep? That's worse. Because deep down you already know, this life you're living, it's not the full story.
You're meant to do something that scares you. You're meant to build something that matters. You're meant to wake up every day with fire, not fear. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait for someone to come save you. They're not coming. You are the one you've been waiting for. And if this message has stirred something in you, don't ignore it. Don't push it down. Don't numb it out. Because that ache in your chest, that restlessness, that whisper, it's not going away. It's getting louder. And the longer you pretend not to hear it, the more of your life you waste in silence. You were born for more, and it's time to take it back.
The silent chains you didn't know you were wearing. You think you're free, don't you? You can go where you want, say what you want, buy what you want. That's what they told you. But what they didn't tell you is that the most powerful prisons have no bars. They're built in your mind. And every day, you're waking up and living inside those invisible walls, believing that this is just how life is. But let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you made a decision that wasn't based on fear? Not fear of failure, not fear of what people might think, not fear of losing what you've built. I mean a decision based on pure instinct, desire, truth, you. Most people can't even remember because they've been trained, just like you, to survive, not to live. And the worst part? They think it's normal. Let me say this loud and clear. Just because something is common doesn't mean it's right. Just because everyone else is miserable doesn't mean you have to be. And just because the world taught you to play small doesn't mean you were meant to. But here's the catch. The system you were born into doesn't need you to wake up. In fact, it hopes you never will. Because the moment you start asking questions, real questions, you become dangerous. Why do we work jobs we hate to buy things we don't need? Why do we spend more time scrolling than dreaming? Why are we surrounded by noise yet feel so alone? You weren't born to follow the script. You were born to write your own. But they buried that truth underneath layers of guilt, shame, and fear. They told you to be realistic, to know your place, to not get ahead of yourself. But who decided what was realistic for you? Someone who gave up on their own dreams? Someone who chose comfort over courage? Someone who was too afraid to leap, so they taught you to clip your wings? No, that's not your truth. That's theirs, and it ends here. If any part of you is waking up right now, don't let it go back to sleep. Hit that like button. Comment, "I'm waking up." This is how we push against the noise, together. You have to understand something. The world is not going to hand you your power back. You have to take it. That means tearing off the labels they gave you. Too shy, too old, not smart enough, too different, too broken. Those aren't truths. Those are weapons. Weapons used to keep you in place, to keep you doubting, to keep you dependent. But you are not your trauma. You are not your past. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account. You are the force behind all of it. You're the one who survived, who kept going, who stayed awake, at least enough to hear this message today. So stop living like your worth has to be proven. You were worthy the moment you were born. And anyone or anything that told you otherwise, forget them. Now, let's get brutally honest for a second. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because of your beliefs. Somewhere along the way, you internalized the lie that said, "This is all I'll ever be."
But that voice in your head, it isn't even yours. It's your fourth-grade teacher who told you you'd never be a leader. It's your parents arguing about money. It's your ex who said you were too much or not enough. It's the rejection letter, the layoff, the people who never saw your light because they were too busy drowning in their own darkness. You absorbed their fear and called it reality. But now it's time to return it. Because here's the truth. Your life is your responsibility. Not your parents, not your teachers, not the governments, not the algorithms. Yours. And until you take ownership of it, radical, painful, unshakable ownership, you will remain stuck in someone else's design. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more hoping someone will show up and unlock your potential for you. You are the one. And if you've forgotten how powerful you are, that's okay. Because remembering starts with just one step. Refuse to keep living a life that doesn't set your soul on fire. Even if you don't know where to go yet. Even if you're terrified. Even if you're surrounded by people who won't understand. Do it anyway. Not because it's easy, but because your life is worth fighting for. Let me ask you something else. If you knew without a doubt that you were born for something more, would you keep waiting, or would you start acting like your future depends on it? Because it does. You don't have time to keep doubting yourself. The clock is ticking. Your window is closing. And the world doesn't need another copy. It needs you. The real you. The one who remembers. The one who dares to break free. And if nobody's ever told you this before, let me be the first. You are not too late. You are not too old. You are not too far gone. You were born for more. And it's time to take your life back.
Reclaiming the fire they tried to kill. Let me tell you something nobody else will. Your desire for more isn't the problem. Your hunger isn't weakness. Your fire isn't arrogance. It's your compass. But they tried to make you ashamed of it. They told you to be humble, to be grateful. They said, don't be too ambitious, don't reach too high, don't want too much. But here's what they were really saying. Don't wake up. Don't break the cycle. Don't remind us of everything we gave up on. Because when you start chasing the life you were born for, you make other people uncomfortable. You become a mirror, a threat, a living reminder that they had a choice and they didn't take it. But let me be clear. You weren't put on this earth to make other people comfortable. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to set fire to everything false and build something real from the ashes. But to do that, you've got to reclaim what they stole from you. Your courage, your clarity, your conviction. Because they didn't just train you to forget your purpose. They trained you to doubt it. Every time you had an idea that felt big, they said, that'll never work. Every time you showed emotion, they said, you're too sensitive. Every time you stood out, they said, tone it down. So you started shrinking. Not because you weren't enough, but because they couldn't handle your light. You see, people don't actually fear failure. They fear judgment. And judgment is the tool of the mediocre. When people aren't brave enough to change their own lives, they mock the ones who try. But here's the thing. They can laugh all they want. Let them. Because while they're busy laughing, you're building. You're climbing. You're rising. You're remembering who the hell you are. Take a second and really let this land.
You've been carrying dreams inside you for years. Dreams that keep showing up. Dreams that won't leave you alone. Dreams that feel ridiculous and terrifying and impossible. But dreams that belong to you. And if you don't go after them, they'll die with you. That's not poetic. That's real. Too many people are taking their music, their vision, their stories to the graveyard. Don't let that be you. If this message is hitting you right now, pause and comment, "I'm taking it back." Subscribe, hit the bell. This is your moment. This is your reminder. This is your fire coming back online. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. You're not going to feel ready, ever. Because the moment you choose growth, your brain goes to war. Your mind will say, "What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I lose everything?" But flip it. What if you win? What if they respect you? What if you gain everything? Here's what nobody tells you about success. It's less about talent and more about audacity. The courage to try when others won't. To show up when you're scared. To believe in something bigger than your current reality. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to move. Because clarity comes from action, not thought. You're not going to think your way to greatness. You're going to act your way there. You're going to take one bold step, then another and another, until momentum kicks in and fear has no room to breathe. And yes, people will question you. They'll talk, they'll doubt, they'll say you've changed. Good. Let them. You're not supposed to stay the same. You're supposed to evolve, to outgrow environments, to leave behind anyone who prefers your silence to your voice. And let me tell you something. Your silence, that's how they win. Because when you stay quiet, the system stays strong. When you play small, the machine keeps turning. But when you decide to live boldly, you crack the code. You prove it's possible. And suddenly, you're not just changing your life, you're giving others permission to do the same. So here's the question you've been avoiding. What would your life look like if you stopped playing defense and went on offense? If you stopped surviving and started creating? If you stopped being who the world told you to be and became the person you were born to be? Let me warn you, it won't be easy. But you already know the easy path leads nowhere. You've tried it. You've lived it. You've tasted the numbness. Now it's time for something real. And you don't need to wait for January, or for the economy, or for someone to believe in you. You are the permission slip. You are the starting line. And today is day one. This is where the old you dies, and the real you is born.
The enemy within and how to beat it. Let's be honest. The real war? It's not out there. It's not your boss. It's not your bank account. It's not your past. It's not even them. It's you. It's that voice in your head whispering, "You're not ready. You're not good enough. You'll mess it up. Why even try?" Sound familiar? That voice isn't truth. It's a parasite, a remnant of every time you were shamed, overlooked, or told to stay small. And here's the crazy part. You've been feeding it. Every time you said, "maybe later." Every time you said, "I'm not the type." Every time you let the day pass and did nothing about your dream, you made that voice louder. But you didn't mean to. You were just trying to survive, to protect yourself, to avoid pain. Because somewhere along the way, your mind linked action with danger. Step out of line, you'll get hurt. Speak up, you'll be rejected. Try something bold, you'll fail. So you learn to armor up. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. The armor that protects you is also the armor that's suffocating you. You're not stuck because of what's happening to you. You're stuck because of what's happening within you. And until you confront that inner war, until you shine a light on those lies, you'll keep sabotaging your own rise. So let's expose the enemy. That voice of doubt, it's not your enemy. It's your alarm clock. It shows up when you're getting close to something real, something sacred, something transformative. It's like an internal firewall trying to protect you from discomfort. But greatness lives on the other side of discomfort. So if that voice is screaming right now, good, you're close. Now push through. Smash that like button if you're ready to fight back. Drop "no more fear" in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because this isn't just a video, it's a movement. Let me teach you something powerful. Every lie your mind tells you has a pattern, and once you see it, you can break it. The lie says, "I can't do this." But the truth is, you've already done hard things before. The lie says, "I'll fail." But the truth is, you failed before, and you survived. The lie says, "They'll judge me." But the truth is, they're too busy judging themselves. The lie says, "It's too late." But the truth is, it's only too late if you stop now. Let me ask you, what if the pain you're feeling right now is not a sign you're broken, but a sign you're birthing something new? What if the fear is not your enemy, but your compass? What if everything that's scaring you right now is actually proof that you're on the right track? You see, most people spend their whole life trying to avoid pain. But the winners, the ones who rise, they learn to use it. They turn heartbreak into hunger, failure into fuel, rejection into redirection. Because here's the truth. Pain is part of the process. Discomfort is the cost of admission. And if you want the life most people will never have, you have to do what most people are too scared to try. That means betting on yourself when no one else will. That means showing up even when you feel like a fraud. That means building the muscle of discipline, belief, and boldness brick by brick. And yes, people will doubt you. But don't let their fear infect your mission. You know why crabs pull each other back into the bucket? Because none of them believe escape is possible. You're the one who knows there's more out there. So of course they'll claw at you, but that's not your cue to quit. That's your sign to climb faster. Let me say this loud and clear. You don't owe anyone your silence. Not your family, not your coworkers, not your friends. You don't owe them a watered-down version of you. And you sure as hell don't owe them your destiny. You owe yourself one thing: the full expression of your potential. Because your life isn't just about you. It's about what happens when someone who refuses to quit finally breaks through. You become a light, a blueprint, a rebel signal in a world begging for permission. So let me ask you, when will you stop making peace with average? When will you stop waiting for the right time to show up and start demanding that now is your time? Because your life isn't on pause. It's happening right now. Every moment you waste, every idea you sit on, every dream you delay is a gift you never unwrapped. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can take it back, right here, right now, today. It starts with a declaration. I'm done living beneath myself. Say it, feel it, mean it. Because the moment you say that out loud, the moment you stop negotiating with fear, you flip the switch. And once that light's on, you'll never go back to darkness. Escape the matrix. Design the life they said you couldn't have. Look around you. Everything you see, the roads, the buildings, the routines, the expectations, It's all part of a system designed not to empower you, but to contain you. Wake up, go to work, pay bills, get tired, repeat. Sound familiar? It's not just a routine, it's a trap. A silent agreement you never consciously made. If I obey, maybe I'll be safe. But safety is the lie. Comfort zones aren't safe. They're cages. And the longer you stay in them, the more you forget the world outside even exists. But deep down, some part of you knows there's more. There has to be. And if you've ever felt like you were living someone else's life, like you were just existing, not living, this is your wake-up call. You are not here to play a background role in your own story. You are not here to fit in, follow rules, and die quietly. You were born to create, to lead, to impact, to build a life that looks impossible to most until you make it real. But before you can build it, you have to destroy something first. The illusion. The illusion that you have no choice. The illusion that you're too late. The illusion that success is for other people. Let me tell you something they never taught you in school. The people who make it in life, they weren't handed a golden ticket. They just refused to accept the default setting. They saw the same system you did and said, "No, I want more. More freedom, more fire, more truth." And they paid the price for it. Because escaping the matrix doesn't come cheap. It costs you your comfort. It costs you your excuses. It costs you the version of yourself that settles. But what you get in return is everything. So if you're still here watching this, I know you're different. You're not just looking for a motivation boost. You're looking for a way out. A map, a guide, a voice that says, "You're not crazy. You're just waking up." And I'm telling you now, your way out starts today. Like this video. Comment, "I'm building my escape." Subscribe if you haven't, because we're not done. Now let's get practical. You want out. You want the life they said you couldn't have. Then stop living on autopilot. Turn off the noise. Put down the distractions. Look at your life, really look at it, and ask, is this what I want, or is this what I've been told to want? Because if your goals don't light a fire under you, they're not your goals. They're hand-me-downs. And that's where the matrix thrives, in imitation. It wants you chasing what looks successful, but you're chasing what feels alive. That's the difference. So how do you break out? Step 1, stop asking for permission. Nobody's going to come and say, "You're allowed to go now." Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, it's your turn to live your dream." If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Step 2, rewrite the rules. You've been taught that success means a fancy job title, a 30-year mortgage, and a safe retirement. But you get to define success. Maybe for you it means creative freedom. Maybe it means building something that matters. Maybe it means peace, impact, adventure, time. Whatever it is, own it. Because as long as you're chasing their version of success, you'll always feel like you're behind. Step 3, take radical action now. Not tomorrow, not after this project, not when you feel more confident. Now. Send the email. Make the call, launch the page, apply, quit, show up, try. The future you want is waiting on the other side of decisive action. And yeah, you'll feel fear, but that's not a stop sign. It's a green light. Let me tell you something powerful. Every time you do the thing you're afraid of, you weaken the voice of fear. And every time you avoid it, you strengthen that voice. So what's it going to be? Will fear run your life, or will you? You don't need a 5-year plan. You need a today plan. Do one thing right now, one thing that moves you closer to freedom. Because every action you take is either building your prison or building your escape. There is no neutral. You're either growing or decaying. And if you don't choose your future, someone else will. And trust me, they won't choose it for your benefit. The system doesn't want you to dream. It wants you to consume. It doesn't want you to think. It wants you to follow. But you weren't born to be a cog. You were born to build the machine. So here's what I want you to do after this video ends. Close your eyes. Picture the life you really want. Not the filtered version, not the safe version. The raw, honest, wild version. Now ask yourself, what would it take to get there? And whatever the answer is, start doing that today. Because the door is open. The path is yours. And the only thing standing in your way is a decision. Make it.
Becoming the one they can't ignore. Let's get real. Most people are waiting for something, anything, to give them permission to be great. They wait for the right moment, the perfect mood, the green light from someone they look up to. But here's the truth. No one is coming. No mentor, no millionaire, no miracle. If you want to rise, you have to build your own stage. And when you do, people will say, "Who do you think you are?" Let me answer that for you. You are the one who refused to stay invisible. You are the one who didn't wait for applause to start performing. You are the one who made them look twice because you had the audacity to show up loud, real, and undeniable. You were not born to be average. You were not born to stay in line. You were born to make noise, to bend reality, to become the one they can't ignore. But to get there, you have to stop playing small. Because playing small doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve your family. It doesn't inspire your friends. It doesn't change the world. All it does is keep you stuck, watching other people live the life you were supposed to live. You're not here to spectate. You're here to dominate your space. And it doesn't matter what your niche is: business, art, speaking, content creation, coaching, music, whatever. What matters is your energy, your conviction, your presence. Because the most magnetic people in the world aren't the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones who decided to stop dimming their light. So ask yourself, what would it look like if I went all in? Not 70%, not when I have more time, not once things calm down. I'm talking 100%. No breaks, no backup plan, no more half living. Because every day you delay is a day you teach the world to overlook you. Let that sink in. Smash that like button if you're done being invisible. Comment all in if you're ready to build a life so undeniable they can't look away. This is your turning point. Let me give you something tactical now. You want to stand out in a noisy world? Then stop being safe. Safe is forgettable. Safe is invisible. Safe is average dressed up in a fancy shirt. You want impact? Be real. Be the person who says what others are too scared to say. Be the one who takes action while others talk. Be the one who's so rooted in purpose that nobody can shake you. That's how movements start. That's how legacies are built. That's how you stop being replaceable. Let's kill a lie right now. The lie that you need to be more qualified. You don't need another certification. You don't need more followers. You don't need another 10 years of experience. You need conviction. Because people don't follow credentials, they follow confidence. And confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. The way you become the one they can't ignore is by showing up when most people hide. It's by speaking up when your voice shakes. It's by launching when you feel unready. It's by betting on yourself, loudly, unapologetically, and without a plan B. And yes, people will roll their eyes. They'll say you're being too much. Let 'em, because too much is exactly what it takes. Too much courage, too much clarity, too much relentless energy. You know what average looks like. You've lived it. You've seen what shrinking gets you. Missed chances, dull gaze, invisible dreams. But you're not here for that. You're here to be seen, to be heard, to be remembered. And here's the truth most people won't say. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be the realist. People can spot fake from a mile away. But when someone shows up raw, hungry, and full of heart, that's unforgettable. That's you if you stop hiding behind perfection. Done is better than perfect. Started is better than safe. Imperfect and loud is better than polished and invisible. So here's your challenge. Do something this week that scares you. Not mildly, deeply. Launch something. Speak your truth. Post the video. Make the call. Pitch the idea. Do the thing that makes your hands shake. Because fear isn't a stop sign. It's a spotlight. It's the universe saying, there's power here. Don't run from it, run into it. Because every time you break through fear, you rise. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you rise. Every time you back yourself, truly back yourself, you rise. Until one day you look up and realize you've become the one they can't ignore. And when that day comes, remember this. You didn't get there by playing it safe. You got there by choosing yourself over and over again. And you'll keep doing it, because now there's no going back.
The final wake-up. Become who you were born to be. Let's end this the way we started, with truth. You were born for more. Not as a slogan, not as a feel-good idea, as a fact. But they trained you to forget. They trained you to shrink, to follow rules, to sit in silence and wait your turn. But your turn never came, because you were never meant to wait. You were meant to create, to build something from nothing, to leave your fingerprint on this world in a way no one else can. And now, right now, you stand at the crossroads. One path leads to the same life you've always known. Comfortable, predictable, but numb. Half awake, half alive. The other path? Terrifying, uncertain, unfamiliar, but real. That second path? That's the one your soul's been begging for. And here's the part they don't want you to realize. No one can stop you. They can doubt you, mock you, ignore you, but they cannot stop you. The only one who can do that is you. The only permission you ever needed was your own. So the question becomes, are you ready to give it? To stop playing the character they wrote for you and become the author. Because your story isn't finished, not even close. And the next chapter, it's the one where everything changes. It's the chapter where you stop waiting, where you stop hiding, where you stop negotiating with fear. It's where you rise. It's where you fight. It's where you remember. And once you remember, you become unstoppable. You stop chasing approval and start chasing truth. You stop asking, what will they think of me? And start asking, what do I think of me? You stop comparing. You stop performing. You stop shrinking to fit in rooms too small for your vision.
You build new rooms, bigger ones, brighter ones, louder ones, because you didn't come this far to blend in. You came to lead. And yes, it'll cost you. It'll cost you old friends, old habits, old stories that kept you safe. But you'll gain something priceless. You'll finally meet the person you were always meant to be. And that person, they're not afraid anymore. They don't flinch at discomfort. They don't collapse under pressure. They don't apologize for existing. They walk like someone with nothing to prove. They speak like someone who remembers their worth. They live like someone who knows, I was born for this. And when the world asks, who do you think you are? They answer without hesitation. I'm the one who woke up. I'm the one who didn't quit. I'm the one who took back my life. I'm the one who refused to die full of potential. So now, it's your turn. Right here, right now, today. Decide. Decide that you've had enough of half living. Decide that you're done watering yourself down. Decide that the old version of you no longer gets to lead. This is your moment. Not next year, not after the perfect plan, now. So stand up, not physically, mentally. Stand up inside your own life. Look fear in the face and say, you don't run me anymore. Look at the clock and say, you're not stealing another second from me. Look in the mirror and say, this is the beginning. Because it is. This is not just the end of a video. This is the end of who you used to be, and the beginning of the real you. The bold you, the grounded you, the fearless, undeniable, unforgettable you. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them laugh. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember the ones who played it safe. It remembers the ones who remembered who they were. And now, you remember. So go build the life they said you couldn't. Go speak the truth they tried to silence. Go live a life so loud, so full, so real, that even the ones who tried to forget you can't. You were born for more. And now, finally, you're ready to take it.